Sorry, I asked a question earlier that I then could not look at chat to see the response from, um, or for, because I was too busy bumping. Um, let's get Devin on the case. You gained so many points in my book for that game. That was ridiculous. Guys, this is how I play my ranked games. If somebody complains one time about bumping, the only thing I'll do for the rest of the game is try and bump them. Well, maybe not like that. That was literally just me bumping the entire game. But if it was ranked, I would try and bump them as much as possible. Okay, so what I asked, and I want to know your opinion on, is right now in RLCS they have very fixed commentator teams. I'm always casting with Shogun. Do you guys prefer that, or would you prefer if they switched it to every single time that we cast, we're casting with different combinations? What do you guys think? Sorry, I couldn't read all the responses to that earlier. Good duo, we like it. Like the duo, but nice when you switch it up occasionally. Keep the teams, different combos. We like the duo. Love you, Shogun. Great duo. We like it. The synergy is there. Shogun pairs well with you, duo. Can you just cast in your own? Thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you to that idea. Same person helps build good chemistry. It does, yeah, it does. You two are the goats. You guys are all far too kind. So it seems like the general consensus is that you guys like us as a duo. You like us casting all the time as a duo, and nobody else seems to have a problem with that. But some people like a little bit of variety sometimes as well, which makes sense. I think that that's a totally fair assessment from you guys. Now, what I think, did I say thanks to Doka Fred for the Prime, by the way? That might have been lost after the gifted sub. Sorry if I forgot that. Hopefully you're still here. So do appreciate that. So my opinion on it, I don't, first of all, I don't really mind like if RLCS were really big on switching up all the casting combinations and putting us with different people every single cast. I wouldn't mind. I would be totally okay with this. I'm quite adaptable, I would say. So I'm not too bothered. However, I do see great value in keeping duos kind of the same, or often the same, I would say, because you can build a lot of chemistry. And one other thing that's worth mentioning is that online casting is a lot harder to synergize than in-person casting. So in this period of our lives where everything's online because of COVID, I think it's better to keep it more fixed, because it's much easier to cast with somebody online if you've casted with them a lot. In person, it's very easy to synergize in comparison because you can use hand signals, gestures, you can see each other. It's just much easier in general to synergize with new people in person. It's not a real RL tournament if you and Shogun are casting together. That's far too kind, man. We say duo is hilarious. What are you guys? Are you American? You say duo? Wow, that duo. That's my favorite duo. Is that how you talk? Any viewers have left the chat. How are you supposed to say it? I say duo because it's a duo. Yes, I say that because that's what it is. But yeah, Americans say things differently. It's fine. I've been casting for my college's team's stream, and I feel terrible at it. Any quick tips for casting? It's gonna sound really cliche, but probably the best thing to do when you're casting is just to be yourself, because a lot of new casters in esports, and especially in Rocket League, they listen to RLCS a few times, or they listen to, some Rocket League commentators, and then they think, okay, I'm gonna try and do that, so they just copy that style. But actually, just like being yourself makes it a lot more real. So you're gonna be honest a lot more. Like, instead of just trying to force a reaction to a goal you really didn't really care that much about, just because you hear that's what they do in RLCS. They're like, wow, RLCS is crazy hype. Let's make this €100, weekly tournament the same level of hype. I think that's a completely wrong way to go about it. Now, I'm not trying to belittle these tournaments. I think they're all very important, and we should all be thankful that these tournaments exist. But I think the tone should be different. I think that the vibes should be different. If there's 300 viewers on a tournament stream for a grand final between players that aren't really known by the wider community, that shouldn't sound like an RLCS grand final. It shouldn't be trying to sound like an RLCS grand final. It should be a bit more laid back, a bit more personal, a bit more chill. You should just, like a lot of commentators, especially the up-and-coming commentators, just need to relax. They just need to chill. Stop trying to hype everything, because it's not as hype as they're saying it is. Football commentators sound different in a Champions League final or a regular league match. Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen to my commentary and Smellsworth's commentary from the grid, and then listen to how I'll commentate RLCS in comparison. They're two very different things, and it's deliberate. Maybe a grid final I'll commentate a bit more seriously, but grid as a whole is a bit more laid back, casual. We just try to have some fun with it. Try to be funnier, I guess. Mostly a failed endeavor, but we're trying our best. Grid commentary is hilarious. Okay, glad somebody thinks so. When's the Goldmine player announcement? I don't know actually. I don't know when they're planning on making that one. I'm not in charge of the logistical side of Goldmine. Was Fusion more fun to cast than RLCS? I think 1v1 is the thing I enjoy casting the most in Rocket League, because I've done it more. So I feel like I can do it really well. So yeah, 1v1 is always really fresh. It's a nice switch up. But RLCS is really, really fun to cast as well. I love casting 3v3. I love casting RLCS level 3v3 teams. And I love co-casting. Some people think that I hate co-casting and that I just want to take the mic and do solo casts all day on RLCS. But that's really not the case. I love casting with Shogun. Love trying to build our synergy and improve as a duo. How is it determined who gets to cast the grand finals of an event? Psionics and the tournament organizer decide amongst themselves. They just pick who they want. Not sure if somebody asked, what's your feelings in Sathy retiring? First memory is him watching your stream. I'd love to hear your perspective on his career. Well, yeah, it's definitely a shame that he's retired early in Season X. It would have been nice to see him play it, be able to play it this season, give it a go till the end. But if he's, I haven't read the retirement. Is there a tweet longer or something? I've not read it yet. Only heard about it after going live today, so I'll have to read it before I can give a proper perspective on it. But yeah, Sathy's a really chill guy. I've met him a few times at events. Really nice dude. Loved to cast his games in both 3v3 and 1v1, and I wish him the best in the future. Do you prefer casting rounds 1 and 2 of Swiss, or would you rather do later ones? The rounds that I like casting most in Swiss are the third round matches. The matches for the teams that are currently 2-0 on the day. Because the teams that are undefeated going into round 3 are usually the teams that are producing the best Rocket League on that day. And usually the best games come from the teams who are playing the best. Like when two teams are just not really playing very well, it can be a little bit frustrating as a commentator, because you say, okay, this is what we expect from this match, this is what I expect from this player, and this is what the result should likely be. And then something completely different happens because one of the teams is playing terribly, and you're just like, why am I even here? Everything I said was wrong. But if the teams play to the level they're supposed to, it's much more satisfying as a commentator, because you can actually give some good takes for once. But hey, so I've had some decent takes on the analyst desk this season. Decent ones. I think in both NA and EU, I predicted my 3-2 and my 3-0 teams correctly. I mean, it's not exactly the biggest brain predictions. I predicted NRG to go 3-0, that happened. I predicted Peeps to go 3-2, that happened. I predicted BDS to go 3-0. Wow, surprise, surprise, that happened. And I predicted end point to go 3-2, and that happened as well. So I sometimes get it right, you know? Sometimes get it right. Who y'all got winning this year? If I had to make an early guess at who I think is going to win the World Championship when we get around to that, I'm going to say NRG. Because I'm assuming that the World Championship will be a LAN. I'm assuming it will be a LAN. Which will probably favor teams with LAN experience. Now, BDS online might look like the best team right now, but I don't. Have they ever played a LAN before? Have they? Well, they've never played a big LAN before that I know of, or never done well in a big LAN. So I think NRG are probably the favorites for that, because they've had the additional experience. Space Station Gaming have only played a few LANs. Obviously, Rattles has won a LAN before. Arsenal and Sypical got to final day on RLCS Season 8, but I don't know. I'd give NRG the edge at the moment. G2 for the World Championship. They're good enough, but I don't think they'll get it. They're good enough, but I don't think they'll get it, unfortunately. Right, let me pause that music and wait a couple minutes. Guess Johnny pronounces SSG as NRG. No, I did not misspeak. Unofficial ASL, thanks for the Prime sub. Welcome to the channel, buddy. You were talking Champions League. Do I watch football? Nah, I don't watch football. I used to watch a ton of football, but not these days, nah. I don't have the time nor the motivation to watch football. Rocket League's just more fun, you know? It's faster paced and just more exciting, so